Go tell the IRS to suck my fucking dick. I sent that payment out.
Alright guys, let's get started. So this video will be part 2 of the transmission swap build. Didn't really give y'all an answer last time when I took the transmission out. I was debating on going with a built trans or a manual or a power glide or a Pro L80 swap. I had a lot of options. For my application, the manual was the best option and drivability for the abuse that I put that car through. And I do drive it daily, so I need something that's reliable. And sure enough, the guys at Motorsport had a drop-in T56. With that being said, this is a level 5 T56 Magnum. It seems to be in the case that it is a stock T56 housing from a GTO, due to the fact that GTOs have a weird tail housing and just different type, just a little different. Saying it's usually the same, but a little different. And you can see in the packaging a lot of the abuse of getting here from South Carolina. There are a few things. Come on, get out of there. With that being said, looks like it had a shifter on it before and the gasket material was there, or that's just something they forgot to quality check and clean off. The piece right here looks very stockish and very old. The bushing looks okay. It looks like they reused it. Some of the housing has scratches, and honestly, it's kind of a core. If it's going to be a drop-in, it has to be a stock GTO T56 to make it accurate with no modifications. So I kind of expect that. Just didn't expect to take out gasket material off the transmission, but I guess it's a flaw that they didn't check, or did check or not. It is an option, but maybe they did have it already and they took it off. But other than that, it looks pretty solid, you know. Definitely has new bolts and has this plate. Forgot what it's called on the description. I'm pretty sure the input shafts is the same from the stock one, but I think the tail housing, the output shaft has, I think, 31 splines. So if you do get this transmission, you have to change the yoke to run this one, which I do have in this box right here. Definitely check your stuff before saying it's all done. I do have 5 days. I did get receive it yesterday. And you have the options for the bell housing and the yoke. They'll come separate. Does say that. I think that's the part number 2 from that. I'll rip that off the rest of it and see you get that. But let me open it real quick. Give y'all a view. Here we go. So it looks to be packaged really well. This must be the yoke. This is a 1330 31 spline yoke. Looks to be like a yoke. That's one of the options you get to pick from. That housing looks to be very, very well packaged. Let's see. to be a nice bill housing. So it looks to be machine cut, precision. It does have the Ceremetallic stamp. I think that's the part number, I guess. But all in all, it looks pretty good quality. It has a dowel, everything looks good. So I'll let you know how it fits when I made it to the rest of the transmission. So on to our next box. This seems to be the clutch. Yeah, twin discs I ordered. Yeah, clutch. Yeah. So the box weighs 54 pounds. This clutch, let me tell you about this clutch. It took me forever to find a company that did the clutch for the GTO. Well, this type of clutch. Before I open it, I did contact 7 companies for a twin disc, and I did contact a few more companies that had a couple different type of clutches, but they did not offer them anymore on their website. It just said part not available. So hit the guys up at GPI, talked to their service guys, and I was originally going to run the organic. I was like, it's just day driver, a couple track days, but they say due to a lot of issues with the organic stuff, drives perfectly fine, there's nothing really wrong with it, but just the abuse I would put it through, they recommend for the ceramic. So this is the Mantic 9000 ceramic twin disc clutch. I was expecting to have the suitcase that everybody advertised on YouTube and the website, but it seems like I just got a box and another box. So let's see what it entails. The price for this was a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay for it, but no one really had any other clutches in stock, so I had to go with this one. This is a nice little throwout bearing. It looks pretty good. Has a little, I do have a quick bleeder that's coming in. I just think it's still en route, and then I have that line that goes through the slave cylinder. It does have the flywheel bolts, and it does come with the instructions. That's the part number, the instructions. Okay, gotta read these on the other side. Okay. Well, it's always nice to put the important stuff at the very end. Noted. Alright. So, and then it does have the clutch lining tool. I do like the X clutch alignment tool because it's like CNC aluminum billet, but you only use it for once in a while, and that's it. So it's a nice little bougie add-on that company adds. I originally wanted the X clutch, twin disc X clutch, 9-inch ceramic twin disc they had, but the manufacturer said it wouldn't ship until between the 1st and 5th of January 2026, and I was like, that's too damn long, because their CNC aluminum finish is purple, and I was like, that's a little bougie flex. But this finish is, I think, oxidized red or some type of red. I don't know, but it's a nice bougie red. Not really a big fan of red though, but what can you do, right? Got it on there. Let's move this out to Y. For a twin disc, and it'll be this damn heavy. Get it there. Weigh as much as the goddamn torque converter. All right. Let's see what you entail. So the packaging is very, very nice, thought out. Ooh, everything's sealed. That's fucking dope. It does have the flywheel. Everything seems to be sealed, and as well SFI rated. So no track can get me on that. So it definitely will put up to the test. Damn, Pretty cool. Pretty fucking cool. I don't want to open it just yet. But she does weigh a little bit. But I did order this. So if you do plan to order this clutch from Mantic or GPI off their website, I did wait about 6 weeks from the manufacturer because GPI doesn't have anything in stock. And they advertise that they don't have it in stock. It comes straight from the manufacturer. So did have that heads up before I bought it. They said, hey, we'll give you a tracking number as soon as we have it from the manufacturer, so you don't have to send us emails and, you know, stress about your clutch not being on time. So they took care of it before I even started stressing about it. I did go with, let me move all this stuff out the way. Makes it easier when it's like chest level. Tick Performance billet slave cylinder. With these GTOs, known from the factory, tends to die and fail. So I went with the best alternative. I'll move your eyes over here so I can actually use the whole table. It does have its perks. It is bougie. It is going to last way longer. There's the receipt from Tick Performance. That part number if you do plan to get one. So it does have the linkage plastic thing that goes to the piece here, but everything looks to be correct, you know, adjustable. I love the adjustability. It does give you a Tick Performance little sticker. Definitely rocking that somewhere in the car. Where, I have no clue. It does come with a zip tie, because obviously what project car doesn't have a zip tie on it. It does have steel braided line. That is really bougie, honestly. I like it. And it does come with that, I forget what the hell that was called. It comes off the slave center, I guess. No, the throwout bearing. Yeah, throwout bearing. Must read. Obviously it's important if you must read. Cool. Yep. As well, it comes with instructions. Fuck, I gotta read. Yeah. Should be pretty simple. And then you get 2 zip ties. 2 zip ties. No, there's another one. Yeah, you get 3 zip ties. Yeah. Gotta love them zip ties. They work magic, especially when in a pinch. But, oh no, that's a good equivalent. And you do get a hose for the cap to the reservoir. You know, go from here and it goes wherever you want to put it at, depending where you want to mark it up at. But nice little add-on. It was a little expensive, but you know, whatever. It's the quality of the part you get, and honestly, with the abuse I'm going to put on it, I need to put the best parts, because I ain't trying to buy another one. I'll either buy it one time and one time only and be done with it. That's how I like to do things. This one, take it for my little stash over here. This one is the reservoir. Yeah, but this reservoir is not from a GTO. It is from a F-body Camaro, I believe, because no one had a factory reservoir for the GTO from available off of eBay, Summit Racing, GM, Stock Performance Parts, and I think 2 other companies I tried to look at for the L6 GTO. But it is a reservoir. It does have a line, and honestly, if it doesn't fit, I can cut it to my liking. It does have the 2 pieces that the GTO does have off the brake booster, and you can mount it where it needs to mount it at, and it has a little weird little thingy there that will definitely disappear eventually, but it comes with it. And all in all, I needed a reservoir that kind of works with my same application. So for a little bit of dollars, it's not too bad. And so let's pull off a few things off of here. Clearly you can see this. These are the bell housing bolts for the transmission, due to the fact that when I was removing the automatic transmission, it was missing 3 bolts. I guess 1 or 2 bolts they didn't put back in. There's one bolt at the very top of the bell housing. That one I will give you the freebie, because that was a pain in the ass to get off. But that one was missing, but the one on the right side towards it, that was a bitch. That was a pain in the ass. So let's get this one. Ain't nothing. And this one right here. So these are easy options. So with this one, this is the shredder boot that I need, which is pretty nice leather for the amount of dollars I spent on it. Wasn't that bad. I just needed something that can work with the bezeled trim. Is it center console belt trim or something like that? I don't know. It's a weird thing they call it from the dealership, but I needed one of these because the trim piece I ordered for the conversion doesn't come with one. It comes with a centerpiece, and the last I need to have is a big old hole sticking out underneath through the transmission into the center console. Get in there, you knucklehead. Oh, so that one's good. This is Revshift Performance Engineering. This is the bushings that goes to the transmission, or transmission bushing, or transmission mount bushing. So this is CNC. I do have the black bushings. They're a step above the OEM, so they're not too stiff, not too soft, just right where you need to be at for daily driving. Comes with this stuff. I don't really open this crap. Oh, it even comes with a sticker. Look at that. Bam. So definitely gonna be happy with that when it goes in the vehicle. All right, guys, so we're on this one. This will be predictive maintenance, and I say that because I don't want to take the goddamn thing off again just to do this fucking seal. So if you know, you know. If you own an LS, you know you need to do this. If you don't, well, you do now. So this is a rooming seal assembly. The seal is like maybe $1 or $2 if you get it, but my retarded self won't really trust myself to do it like that. So I got the gasket and I got the little top part that usually leaks out. Never the rooming seal leaks, but it's always this little fucking thing. I forget what it's called, but it's always this thing that always leaks out of those fucking cars, or out of those engines, I mean. Because I'm already there, why not do the remain seal? So this is pretty maintenance. It's not really needed for the kit or the swap, but you know, I would do it because you're already there. And if you like taking this shit apart like a lot, and you love it, and you don't mind doing all this shit over again, be my guest. But in this scenario, we're not doing that. We're this one. This is my favorite one so far. So this is a shifter from Stikky Manufacturing. But I know Stikky makes good parts and good quality stuff, and how to go with them due to the fact that it is a full assembly and it's all CNC aluminum. Golly, look at that. Ooh-wee, look at that. Now that'd be something, you know. That shit feels stiff as a motherfucker. Alright, put that through there. There you go. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, gonna have some fun with that shit. So I'll leave that one there. It does have the option, if you go from the website, this is the one I got. I got the 8-inch tall 3/8/16 thread. And this was the color. There they call style shifter cup for the GTO. That is the part number. This would be the part that I will replace on that old piece of shit that it came with. It does come with a Stikky sticker. We'll be putting that in the car somewhere, somehow, I don't know. This is the short throw shifter I'm gonna be running with. I'd rather go with a short thrower now than go with some sloppy, crappy shifter. I did contact Hot Motorsport. Contact their tech line they have, and they say to run Valvoline shrinkable mesh for manual transmission fluid, or you can run purple, Royal Purple. But so far I gotta break the transmission in since everything's all new and stuff. I will take the precaution of putting all that fluid in there, drive maybe 200-300 miles, get all that stuff out of there, drain all that out, do another one, drain all that out again as well, and then put the good shit that I'm gonna run in it. So with this one, I got this from a company. What's the company name? I forgot the goddamn company's name. I got it from Dave's Parts Yard. And with any manual swap conversion, you need the goods. So this side of this box, which I already know, is where the goodness and the most time-consuming stuff is going to be. But you do need it for a manual swap to complete it. So this is the bezel, the manual trim bezel. It has a traction light, traction control, has the lock buttons, and it even has a switch. That sounds pretty good. It's all off another Pontiac GTO, which I do like. I like authentic shit, especially for that car. So that is the car it came off with when, I guess this is a car that was wrecked, or they're salvaging it or something like that in that case. So I got this one, and you can clearly see why I got the boot. It doesn't have that center thing. I'll try to use the one I have off the automatic, kind of get that little cover to sink into it. That way it doesn't go straight down. But I'll make that work. In other cases, myself, I took the precaution of grabbing a manual transmission harness. And I say that because I don't feel like cutting, I don't feel like rewiring all that shit. I'd rather just do it easy. Just buy a whole goddamn harness and then redo it, because everything goes where it needs to go, and it's the correct length where it needs to be at, right? But before I install this, I'll definitely do an inspection on the wires, make sure they're all good to go, ready to rock, ready to roll, make sure they're all good, nothing's broken. If they are broken, I'll note it, and definitely will take care of it. And this is off another Pontiac GTO, so these are all used parts off another car, which kind of goes with it. You know, you're not going to find one of these off the shelf anymore. It's just what it is. To continue with the items, clearly these packages staying correctly. I have the gas pedal, which I already have the gas pedal already made, but you know, it makes no sense. This does have a sticker, maybe they ripped off with it, not too sure, but I do have a spare one if it requires a manual one, not too sure, but definitely have that. And then this meat and potatoes makes the car a manual. So I got the pedals. Yeah, I got the manual pedals in the small little brake pedal. The zip ties in the goddamn way, but you know, this is off another crash GTO. Well, not really crash GTO. I would say another GTO. With that being said, I think that is all with the manual transmission build that I choose from. If I'm missing something, knowing I'm missing the drive shaft, but I'll get there when I get there, due to the fact that I don't know how long it's going to be or how short it's going to be. But with all these items, this is generally what you need for the manual swap. Sure, you can buy a whole used manual transmission off eBay that has the clutch, the shifter, the belt housing. It comes strictly off of it for the amount of money for just that transmission. But those tend to be fragile, around 500 pounds of torque. I think is what it usually kind of breaks and dies. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right and do it one time only, right? So, got the good trans, got the stuff that goes with the trans, got the best clutch to run. That clutch is rated for, I think, 1,000 and some change foot-pounds, but I'll never get there. Not in this setup, but it's there in case I fucking need it. So I got the most bougie or most best application for the transmission mount, and I got the best bolts. I got the primitive maintenance for it. I got the boot. I got the reservoir. I got the best slave cylinder for that car. I do have the best shifter for that car, and I have the correct fluid to break in the trans, as well as having the harness, the pedals, trim centerpiece thing as well. Am I missing something? I know I'm missing something. Yeah, if I am, I am. So with that being said, I'm gonna clean all this up real quick, get everything back in the boxes, back in there need to be, and give y'all a price breakdown the way y'all can look at this build in case y'all want to do this build yourselves. Okay, so give me a minute, be back in a few seconds. Alright guys, let's see how much this costs altogether. One thing is that I won't factor in the drive shaft since I haven't got to that point. I don't know if I need a different drive shaft or a shortened drive shaft. I do need a drive shaft. I'm trying to go carbon fiber, and usually when you buy carbon fiber parts, that shit is fucking expensive. So the one I was looking at is about like 1800, around 1800 without shipping. If you get like an aluminum 3.5 inch, 1000 horsepower rated, whatever, all the custom specs for it, about 1200 bucks. So depending on an extra grand or two, it'll come off this number that I got in the book. So let's go over and see how much all this cost, right? So, all right, from the top, we have the clutch pedal assembly. That was $250. I got it during Memorial Day or Memorial Weekend. It was $200, so I saved 50 bucks out of that. And then we're gonna go to the manual center console. That was $120, but I paid $96 for it. Still on the Labor Day Memorial Weekend. And then the T56 manual transmission harness assembly. That was $450 from the website. I paid $360 after shipping and everything. Memorial Weekend, those 3 items were shipping was free because it's over $150 was free shipping, so I qualified for all that stuff. The shifter boot, that was $30. The Tick Performance Master Cylinder assembly, that was $330 on the website, but I'm a team member, so I qualified discounts, and I paid for that. It was $283.49 with everything. The ARP bolts, they were $40 from Summit Racing. Short throw shifter assembly from Stikky, that was $627.46. That's adding up already. And we have the Revshift pressure mounts. That was $160. The twin disc Mantic clutch for the GTO was $2,331.06. Damn, that's a lot. We have the reservoir. That is $30.06. And then we have the Valvoline Synchro Mesh 4 quarts. They're usually about $18 to $26 a quart, but I got a good deal for 4 of them. So there's 60 bucks. Got it at work. Sometimes work has good discounts. Not as much, but take it. The rear seal, that was $67 from Rock Auto. And now we have the main one that costs a lot of goddamn money. So this is a T56 level 5, 4, whatever the fuck Roman numeral is. I'll put a picture of what the fuck it is. I option out for the 1350 yoke, the LS1, LS2 bell housing, and the one of the 3 gear sets you get to choose from their website. That total cost came out to be $4,709.01. Yeah. Fuck. That's a lot. So, and then I have the speed leader coming in very soon. It should be here by Monday or Tuesday. That was $47.97 with everything being applied. What did all of this cost me without the drive shaft? Let me do some quick math. Pause. Percent per dollar. Fuck. I don't regret my decision, going to a manual swap. The car's gonna be way more gateable and drivable, more streetable. I got really tired of the transmission blowing up every fucking year. I do still have the automatic stuff, so I have the pedals, the trim, the harness, the TCM, the transmission, the drive shaft if I can't use the goddamn thing. You know, I still got stuff I can kind of make a little bit more or less sense in this goddamn number. Will I get all the goddamn money back? Maybe not. Most likely, like, it's an automatic, so it's not really sought after in that kind of car. But it costs about $9,000 without the drive shaft. With the drive shaft, you're looking at between $10,000 to $12,000 to do this swap. You know, that's everything high dollar. You know, you can definitely cheap out some shit. You don't have to buy what I bought. You know, if you find it cheaper, you find it cheaper. If you don't want to do it and go a different route, sure, you know, you can nickel dime it down to like $7,500 or $7,000. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right first time. You know, I don't want to buy stuff I have to buy again and again if I'm just gonna buy it one time, right? But I want to do this swap a long time ago and finally got the opportunity and the chance to do so. This would definitely help the car later next year when it goes to a few events. But yeah, goddamn, $9,000, goddamn. But it's a lot of bucks, a lot of good parts. But I still gotta do the engine, still gotta do the rear end, still gotta do the tub, the tires. Goddamn, the drugs are way cheaper than this goddamn shit. I'll see y'all in the next one.